Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Dark Jack, and in this video I'm playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on the map Meltdown, using my SWAT to SWAT the other team. And in this video I want to talk about why I'm not into mobile gaming or handheld gaming. Now, I don't own a PlayStation Vita or a Nintendo DS or a 3DS or an iPad or an iPhone or an Android phone. I'm not really into mobile gaming. And the reason why I don't own those things is not because I couldn't afford to buy them if I really wanted to, even though it would be very expensive to own all of those. It's because I don't see the need to play those games. And so when I'm out of the house, I'm not focused on playing games. I have more things to focus on when I'm doing real life things outside of the house. And so when I'm at home, when I'm worried about my entertainment and not real life stuff, I prefer to play games on real gaming consoles that play real games, and not the fake free-to-play or pay-to-win iPad, iOS, and Android games that are just time sinks and money wasters. And so when I want to play games, I play games on real game consoles using the best technology, because I didn't spend all this money on high-end gaming systems so I could play games that aren't really games designed for my mom, things like Farmville and Cityville and the Simpsons version of SimCity. Even though those things are highly profitable for the companies that make them, they're not real games. They're games that are designed for people that don't actually play games. And I'm not interested in those things. So when I went to go visit GameStop a while back, the employee tried to sell me a PlayStation Vita, which I didn't want, even though he said I needed to play it in order to play Uncharted Golden Abyss. And so his argument was I was not a real Uncharted fan unless I bought the PlayStation Vita and played Uncharted Abyss. Even though I knew Uncharted Abyss wasn't nearly as good as 2 or 3, and Naughty Dog didn't have a big hand in that game. And I told him that I don't need to buy a PlayStation Vita or any other gaming or handheld console because I already own an Xbox 360, a PS3, and a gaming PC. Not because I was trying to brag to him, but because I was trying to explaining that handheld gaming and mobile gaming is so far inferior to what I have available to me that I have no need for that. I don't need to spend $200 on a handheld system that I'm not going to play very often, that has awkward controls and a small screen. I have no need for those things because I can already play all the games that I want on the systems that I already own. Every game that I want to play is already available to me on Xbox, PS3, or PC. And so PlayStation Vita games have a horrible track record. If you look at Call of Duty Declassified, for example, that was a shooter game for the Vita, and it's a terrible game. It got horrible review scores. And so why do I want to play that game with its terrible laggy multiplayer on a small screen with awkward controls when I could play using a controller on a 23-inch LCD monitor and play a superior game with much better graphics? It makes no logical sense whatsoever why you would want to play on such an inferior console and play such inferior games for the same price that you would play for the better console or the better system. It makes no sense whatsoever. I just can't see how anyone can justify buying a PlayStation Vita because the games for it are not exactly that great and it's extremely expensive. You can play better games on your main home console, and you're probably not going to get a whole lot of use out of it anyway because you're out of the house. You're not focused on games, you're focused on real life stuff that's more important than games. And I think the last time that I had a handheld console was when I owned the original black and white Game Boy for Nintendo, and I would play it on long car trips when I traveled with my parents back when we would vacation in Maine. And that's the last time that I played on a handheld device. And since then, I have evolved, I have grown up, I have put the things of the past behind me. I no longer simply play on the Nintendo like when I was a little kid. I have now matured, my tastes have expanded. I recognize now that I have gotten a taste of mature games and AAA titles. I no longer want to go back to the old games of the past, because now I've gotten a taste of what real games are. And so in the PlayStation Vita commercial that says, it was called Stick It to the Man, it had a commercial of a person walking down the street playing a PlayStation Vita on the way to work. And so the argument was that if you play the PlayStation Vita on the way to work, looking down at the screen, not paying attention to the street signs or running the risk of walking into the middle of the street and getting hit by a car or having someone steal the Vita from you, Because, it's easy for someone who's a thief just to snatch it out of your hands. Considering the fact that it's a $250 gaming machine, that's very expensive. You could nevertheless stick it to the man by playing your Vita on the way to work as you walk, as if anyone walks to work anymore. And so it's a ridiculous commercial that just shows how little you're actually going to use the thing. And so no mobile game can compare to the best console or PC games. And almost all of them are based around microtransactions. And so I cannot understand for the life of me how people can say that console games are dying and that the new wave of gaming are iOS games and iPad games when you don't even have a controller. It's absolutely ridiculous how people think that these iPad games are better than full console games or full PC games. It's complete insanity, because the console industry is not dying at all. They are coming out with new consoles that are going to be even more powerful, and the people that play on iPad games are people that have not tasted how great AAA gaming can be. There is nothing like Skyrim or Halo 4 or Black Ops 2 on iPad games or on iPhone or Android. It's simply a cash grab and a way to bolster up and support those who are fanboys of mobile gaming, rather than taking a serious, educated approach to what a good game actually is. And so in summary, the reason why I don't spend time doing handheld gaming and mobile gaming is because I have no need to, because I didn't spend all the money that I've spent on all my gaming machines so I could play inferior games on inferior consoles with awkward controls and small screens, and for games that are designed for my mom, who doesn't know how to play video games. So I'm pretty insulted by the arguments of people who are arguing that iPad games are the next generation of great games and that console games are dying off, which is a ridiculous argument. So I hope you guys enjoyed my rant, and I'll see you guys later.